We can't get the fish to live properly.
For the fish problem, well, it's going to be a hard situation to fix because, well, fish are animals too. They have all different feelings, likes and dislikes.
They're just fishing them out but not fishing like anything else. And they might just be jellyfish. There just might be just skeletons of the fish, and that won't be nice. Only the things to remember them is pictures. We're just getting really big fishing nets, and we're getting more than we need. And if we get more than we need, really, and then it goes to all the restaurants and stuff, they kill them all and get ready for them to be on plates. And then the ones that people don't eat, they just throw the dead fish away back into the sea.
And there is this myriad forms of life. Well, they can't live in an acidic sea.
Which we're creating.
Which we're creating.
My name is Hal Chambers and I'm the director of the LEPA project. I initially decided to create the LEPA project through meeting an audience member. His name was Steve Key, and he had told me a story about how he protected salmon fish, nurtured them in a salmon nursery, which is officially called a reconditioning unit, where he cares for these salmon, helps them deliver new salmon fish each year, spawning lots and lots of salmon in his unit, where he then puts the fry salmon back into their native streams up in Scotland.
I have to, this is like painting the Forth Bridge, this job. The eggs come in here in November, they're in here till January, February, and I have to go through all these stacks on a constant, not quite a daily basis, but it takes me about 3 days of the week to do.
The salmon fish stocks were hugely declining in terms of population, and his work has been hugely influential in making sure those stocks have recovered.
Because we look upon each river as being an individual and producing individually different fish, if you do that, then you've got to restock that river with fish that may not necessarily be adapted to live there.
He has found a way of feeding salmon in fresh water, which is an absolutely amazing thing because scientists previously thought that that was impossible.
We go to St Anne's Wells after school, and we have this little club and there's a pond with loads of fish, and we look after the fish. We feed them with Lila's brioche.
These salmon fish are able to spawn year after year and live for up to 10 years in this unit, which is quite incredible really, considering after they usually spawn in the streams, they die because they have no energy left to find food. I think his small act of kindness, this small act of defiance against this sort of doom and gloom future, is a lovely metaphor for what we can do as a public, what we can do as individuals, to offer very small acts of kindness and morality, and hopefully that can change things for the better. The salmon fish is an incredible fish. It's the king of fish, known ominously by fishermen as the red fish. There's a huge amount of respect for the salmon fish. What we're trying to do with this project is help children and their families create a relationship with the life in the sea and the rivers. What would happen to the world if there was no fish left?
What might happen to the world if there's no fish left in the sea?
It's part of us making the invisible world visible, bringing a world that is largely unseen. Fish are often seen as well, the cold-blooded, sort of slippery, slimy customers, and not kind of cute like puppy dogs or teddies or anything like that. So what we're trying to do is to find an accessible, emotional story to tell to children and their families. I think the salmon fish is a very inspiring fish. It has a great sense of determination. It swims out from its original streams and it goes all the way out through the rivers, out into the open oceans, and then has this urge to come all the way home to its original stream to spawn. And it's faced with a huge amount of natural predators and obstacles, but the human obstacles are huge, with pollution. Subsequently, there's the changing temperatures in the sea, climate change leading to a lot of their food moving around, migrating to different places, making things harder. And of course, overfishing. It's about really enabling the next generation to see what they may lose.
What are your favourite kinds of fish? Like, do you have any favourite fish?
My favourite fish is sea bass.
My favourite fish is fish and chips.
Cod-headed.
Cod and haddock.
It's a conversation between the generations, because if we, our generation, and the next generation don't step up and really make sure that we have a sustainable future, then in a couple of generations' time, 50 years' time, there may be, wild fish may be a thing of the past. They may go the way of the dinosaurs. And I suppose the purpose of the story that we're telling is just to inspire, even if it was one person, to want to make a difference, to go out and find the way of creating a future where we do have a beautiful ecosystem of marine life that is full and strong, colourful, and is there for many generations to enjoy.
Would you like a world where there was no fish in the seas?
No.
What would you feel like if you couldn't have your fish and chips for tea?
I would feel sad because we might have fish and chips for tea all the time. Well, I don't think you should catch a fish, because also you should think about fish's feelings, because they probably do have feelings.
They have emotions too. We're not the only things on the planet, remember?
What might happen to the world if there's no fish left in the sea?
Birds might die
Yeah.
because birds only eat honey and fish. So without any fish, they won't be able to eat much things.
There'll be a lot of honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Because I think if we keep fishing all the fish at the rate that we are, they might go the way of the dinosaurs. Do you know what happened to the dinosaurs?
Yeah, they died of eating just anybody.
Well, really, fish is a good thing to eat, and if we run out of fish, well, lots of animals and things might die, and some things might be extinct, and so we should try to balance out the fish before they do get extinct, if they ever do. So that if we do get near about, like, maybe let's say 50 fish remaining in the entire world, maybe we should preserve those fish and treat them with care, and then that could become 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and so on, until there's enough fish in the world that could supply the world until that thing happens again.
If we don't have the fish, because then the bigger fish won't have anything to eat, and they'll probably die of starvation, then they'll die, then they'll die, then they'll die. Some animals in the water might die
Why?
because they don't have any more fish there. Like whales might die.
Because they've got nothing to eat.
Yeah. It will start to get, because all the animals will die, and then protein. You need lots of protein, and so we'll start getting ill. If you keep on putting litter in the sea, then more fish will die, and then there won't be any more fish left. Fishes could accidentally swallow them. Because fishes just go around, or some fishes just go around with their mouths. And one cod swallowed a mobile phone once because it was just going along, and then they took it out, and it was actually a man who had dropped his phone, and they put the fisherman's SIM card in, and he called his girlfriend.
Because you know that turtles
Yeah, they
and whales eat plastic bags because they think they're jellyfish.
People like dropping litter in the sea. Some people do it on purpose, but some people do it without knowing. Like if you've just eaten some crisps and you walk by a drain, it could easily slip out of your hand and go down the drain. Then it flushes into the sea.
The salmon's world is destroyed by the waste, really, and then overfishing as well. When you take a plastic bag, what you're taking is somebody had to go and get the oil out of the earth, a huge energy cost. Somebody then had to take that oil and do things to it, chemically, physically, with energy, to then make some plastic, which then got made into a plastic bag. So that plastic bag has a huge cost before it ever gets anywhere near the shop that it goes in.
When we do climate change, then it's for the big fish, it's making the oceans too warm, so the fish are going away. But for the bigger fish, that means they won't have any fish to eat, and they'll die, and then they'll die, and then they'll die, and then they'll die.
We also have a fairly major river that you'll see if you drive up the A9 called the River Garry that was abstracted for hydro schemes to the point of leaving it as a rocky paved corridor in the summer. David's been working with, along with SEPA and the hydro generating schemes to try and get water put back into that river. It was a fairly major salmon river at one time and went into complete demise as they sucked the water out of the lochs.
We can show that it's better to build something good that has a good environmental footprint, if you like, and yet we still don't do it.
The puppets are being made by Claire Harvey, a very talented puppet maker. We're working with a composer called Jim Harborne, who's a very talented folk songwriter who also creates amazing soundscapes. We're working with many actors who've worked with Tucked In before, who are very skilled at not only storytelling and singing, puppetry, movement, but they're also fantastic devisers. We work a lot with light, creating really beautiful images, humour, and we really like to try and find a world that is small and handmade. In fact, a lot of this set is made from recycled materials. It's a kind of huge, expansive world made from stuff that you can find in your house. The salmonfish is an interesting, everyman character, a passenger through this incredible, complex world. The salmonfish in our story goes through a very, very exciting quest, starting off actually its life in the salmon nursery where Steve works. So we've actually taken reality and we made a theatrical version of this salmon hatchery where he works. It starts its life there and it's nurtured through all the way through to the fry stage where it's a small little fish and it ends up being taken to a stream in the, near the River Tay where it starts its life, and we follow its life all the way through to the oceans where it comes across all sorts of predators, it finds food, and of course it comes across the human obstacles. There is going to be a moment, a sort of point of no return, where fish stocks and marine life cannot recover from the declining sort of numbers. That moment is coming. It's more important to tell this story than ever in history. A lot of what you read in papers and see in documentaries is very sort of doom and gloom about this subject. What we're trying to do with this story for children and their families is to tell a positive, entertaining story which is moving and funny, and hopefully it will leave the audience leaving the theatre beaming, and also start a conversation between the children and their parents when they ask why those things were happening to the salmonfish. Why was that journey so difficult? What were those obstacles that the salmonfish faced?
Humans are unbelievably inventive, creative and capable. And I do think that somewhere along the line, how much devastation will have to happen before this happens? Somewhere along the line, somebody will come up with the solution, if you like. And solutions, there'll be lots of them.
No, we could change it. So, for instance, this could be one part of the sea in one country and then another. Each country could have a bit of the sea, and if they really like the sea and the fish, they respect them just like they respect you, they should look after it. But they could only... I got a good idea. I'm going to take a bit out of Jack's idea.
I'm gonna take Elsie's idea and change it.
We could like make a giant line down there and like put a robot.
Yeah.
But
Do you think we should be putting pollution in the sea anyway, or plastic and things like that?
But you could like make this electric fish that says go away.
Because they probably won't want to get electrocuted.
For instance, if there was a warning about all the dump is going to be chucked in there,
Yeah.
all the fish could hear this, like a fire alarm, and they would just run, swim to another part which was safe, and then they'll keep on doing it for quite a long time. I have another one.
Great. Yeah.
Catch a
some fish and put them somewhere where people can't fish them. So then there could be more fish for them for when there isn't any fish left.
You could catch some fish and then let some go, and they can find a place that people can't find them, like a cave. Put a robot on the side of the ship, and then put a certain sound that will scare away other fish, but will keep bringing. Make more of the places. Make more of the marine protecting zones.
Yeah.
Maybe a no fish day, week, year. Just something to let the fish get more and more and more.
You could only fish at a certain time. On your own birthday. Don't eat fish. You can make up a fishitarian, just like a pescatarian. Fishitarian.
The fishitarian.
A pescatarian is a fishitarian.
Great. Okay.
We could have an area for some fish. So some fish could be here, some fish could be here. They could have their own homes. If you move the fish into a certain place, then lots of fish will be taken, and then someone just jumped in the water and took pictures if there's more there, and then you send them to people. Print them out and then put it in a letter. And then put it in the post box, then it's sent to everybody. You know, when the news is on, everybody goes, wow, what the other 64 out there. Tell someone, and then they could tell someone else, and then that person could tell someone else, and it goes on and on. They might just sit down and be calm and listen to what's going on. They could just say, now, listen everybody. This is a problem we really need to solve, and then they would say. So that's why I think that's a good idea.
You should keep telling people on and on. That's a good idea, because if people get alerted, they might stop eating fish, and then fish might be able to get bigger amounts. Then we'll be able to start again, and then we might start the whole process again, but then we'll see how the outcome was the first time, and we can hopefully make the outcome better.
Save our fish, because there might not be much when you're older. Because we love our fish, we love eating them, but we do like seeing them and how their nature is just like us, and seeing magical things happening when they're opening their eyes and when the babies are hatching. It's quite a big thing.
Should we go back and do some arts and crafts? Well done.
Arts and crafts would be good, because I'm going to be an artist when I grow up.
Oh, you're going to be an artist when you grow up?
It's just incredible how much fish can just disappear in one day. It's just incredible how many fish people eat. I think the fish day thing, no fish day, is a great thing. This is a warning to stop eating so much fish, or stop fishing for so much fish. We're showing you the other things you can do.